I wanted to talk today about cortisol and cortisol in menopausal women and how it affects us as a menopausal woman. So as the sex hormones are declining, so estrogen, progesterone and testosterone, as they're starting to decline, as ovary egg production is all slowing down in this period of our lives, then we tend to see a rise in cortisol. So cortisol is the stress hormone, and cortisol is made in the adrenal glands. So if you're feeling maybe weight gain around your midsection, if you feel quite stressed, quite anxious, quite overwhelmed, multiple times through the day, you might feel that your face is quite puffy and you feel stressed, whether it's low level stress or high levels of stress throughout the day, then chances are your cortisol levels are elevated. And this can lead to all kinds of diseases in the future. So it's key as a menopausal woman, as a postmenopausal woman, that we are managing our stress. So there's lots of things that we can do, loads of things that we can do to help manage our stress levels. HRT can definitely help if you get the right HRT for you and it suits you. So you'd need to speak to your GP, your advisor, around what the right HRT would be for you. And that might change. You may start taking a particular HRT or brand of HRT in perimenopause potentially. And as you come through to postmenopause, you may need to change because the hormonal balance will change. And as we transition through this period of life, our cortisol levels are going to change also. So you may need to try different configurations of HRT until you find the right one for you. And even then, it's potentially might not be static. You might still further along the line need to change. So HRT can definitely help. Practically, all the things that you can do for yourself. So I'll say this in all the videos, is sleep. So if you are getting good quality sleep regularly and consistently, then that is going to help your cortisol levels no end. If you are getting poor sleep and you're waking up through the night and you're just getting up really early and going to bed really late, then the cortisol levels that your adrenals are producing will be elevated. So definitely sleep. So if you are struggling with sleep, magnesium, this is a great magnesium. I'll link it up below. Great magnesium is very strong, very potent. And if you take your magnesium maybe a couple of hours before you go to bed, it will have an effect. It is really strong. Sometimes it can make you feel a bit groggy in the morning. Personally, I need to get the timing right so that if I take it too late, then in the morning I'm struggling to get up and I feel quite tired. So you'll need to, again, always got to experiment and try different times and different types, different brands of magnesium. Something that you might not have thought about before is ashwagandha. Again, I'll link to this if you can see it. Again, it's very strong, it's potent, and you really do feel the effects of ashwagandha. Now, it might take a few weeks, but you start to feel a lot more calm, more relaxed. And again, it's getting it right. If you're waking up in the morning and feeling really stressed straight away, you feel quite anxious, your heart's racing from the get-go, then chances are that the ashwagandha could potentially help you. So you could take ashwagandha in the morning and then monitor it and see how you feel. I've been playing around with taking ashwagandha in the morning and then a bit later on, and then also later on in the afternoon, because it is quite strong. So it's just getting the right timing and the balance for you, but they are wonderful supplements and I highly recommend them. So sleep first of all. Then of course it's your nutrition. So if you're eating sugary foods, highly processed foods, if you are drinking alcohol, again, these are all foods that do elevate your cortisol levels. Getting right into your nutrition, eating lots of greens, lots of vegetables, protein, have a mix of plant-based proteins and animal-based proteins, fish, get your omega-3s in, and focus on foods that can help balance your blood sugar levels through the day. So if you're leaving long periods where you're not eating, and this is where maybe if you've been fasting in the past, if you've maybe found that intermittent fasting works for you, yet now you're in peri to postmenopause, you find that fasting can actually increase your levels of cortisol. So it might be that you need to revisit that and go back to eating 3 meals per day or 4 meals per day if that suits you, rather than leaving a long period of time while you're doing an intermittent fast. So again, you might need to adjust that a little bit and go back to eating three meals and focusing on foods that balance your blood sugar levels through the day. So if you're eating foods that spike your blood sugar levels or highly palatable and sugary food and booze, then again, you're going to get the blood sugar levels are going to come up and down, and that's going to raise cortisol as well. So have a look at your overall diet. And if you have been an intermittent faster, then maybe you might need to change that a little bit, or maybe not leave it as long. Don't go for a 16 or an 18-hour window. It might be too much. You might need to revisit that and change it. And then focus on tools that you can use through the day, that when you do feel stressed, when you do feel anxious, and it could be anything, low levels amount of stress, a phone call, an email, just somebody that triggers you for whatever reason, what are the things that you can do that can just help you manage your stress? So breath work, such a simple and so effective. So a box breathing technique can really help. And that would mean you're breathing in for 4 counts. You hold your breath for 4 counts. And then you breathe out for 4 counts. And again, you breathe in for 4 counts. You hold your breath. And then you breathe out for 4 counts. And you might do that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to feel your body relax. Feel the parasympathetic nervous system slowly calming down. You can do that in your car. You can do that when you're walking. You can do it at your desk. You can do that anywhere. It's a really simple technique that you can use, and it's tried and tested. Lots of people use it, and it's a really good, useful tool. So if you find when you do feel stressed or anxious, what are your go-to? Now, in the past, it might be that you go into the kitchen and you eat something just without even thinking about it. So you try and have that soothing effect with food that you feel momentarily. But then when you've realised you've eaten something that's highly palatable or sugary, then you don't feel so good. So then you get this mental tennis match going on where you eat the food to feel better and lower your stress levels, and then you almost are angry with yourself for doing that. So you get this sort of mental anxiety and emotional stress going on. So if you do notice that you tend to eat when you feel stressed, again, breathing, what do you go to? Try your box breathing technique. If you can get outside and go for a walk, walking just outdoors if you can, just for 5 minutes, getting some fresh air, deep breathing, clearing your mind. Again, it's so simple, yet so effective. So those 2 techniques, you can do them anywhere. Your box breathing and getting out and walking. And if you can't get outside and walk, at least get up and move wherever you are. It might be that you do some simple stretching. You might do some simple mobility exercises for your joint. It's almost that you're changing your brain waves. You're changing your thought process. You're changing how you think. You're changing your mental cognition. You're changing your state. And that can really help manage the stress as well. Another thing is your hydration. Are you drinking plenty of water through the day? So when you get up, have a drink of water. Before you do a class or before you do a workout, have a glass of water. Take your water with you. Get used to taking your water bottle. The Amazon ones that you can get from Amazon or Costco, where they've got markers all the way up through, these big water jugs are brilliant to take with you so you can see exactly where you're at and how much water that you've drunk. Again, massively helpful. So there's lots of things that you can do to take control of your cortisol levels. And again, it's the same as all healthy habits. If you keep doing them over and over and over again, day after day, you feel stressed, you do your breathing. You feel stressed, you go out for a walk. Exercising daily, moving daily. These will all help manage your stress over a long period of time. Just keep doing it, keep practicing it, and making that a healthy habit. These are key. As we are menopausal, midlife, it's important to get your health priorities, your daily health non-negotiables that you're doing day after day. So improving your sleep, improving your nutrition, being active and walking, managing your stress. These will all help bring down your cortisol levels and be active in lowering your cortisol. So I hope that helps, gave you some tips. If you have any questions or comments around cortisol, just let me know. I'll link to all of the supplements that I've talked about, and let me know if that was helpful. I hope it was. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I've created quite a few other videos around being healthy over 50. And I'll also link to those either here or here. And I'll see you on the next video.